is Itzel Guillen. She's lived in the U.S. since she was 5. She is 22 years old. She received a 4.1 GPA in high school. She's worked at 24 Hour Fitness. She's a graduate from San Diego State University. She works for Alliance San Diego and is an incredible advocate for diverse communities. At any time, the President of the United States could revoke her temporary legal status. Once expired, she would no longer legally reside in the U.S. She is in the category of other. She is DACAmented.
I don't think either one of us realized our immigration status until we were in high school. It wasn't something that we talked about at home a lot, but we knew that there was something different about us because we weren't able to travel outside of the country to visit family members. When family members died, we weren't able to go, so we always saw that as a barrier. We saw the border as a barrier. We were afraid of police. So these were things that, as a child, we had to understand, and as children it's very difficult to understand that your parents might not come home. But in high school, for myself, I had set the goal to go to college because I knew that we weren't going to go back to Mexico, so I knew that I had to make something out of myself. I needed to get into school, and I was able to get into UC Santa Barbara. I was waitlisted at UCSD, and I also was accepted into San Diego State University. But my goal was to go to UC Santa Barbara, but at that time I didn't have any financial aid options because as an undocumented student, you're not able to get FAFSA. So it was very difficult to make that decision that I was not going to be able to go to my dream school. Actually, 3 days after my graduation, my high school graduation, June 15, 2012, DACA was announced. Well, DACA is a program. It is not law. So because it is an executive action, it could be revoked. It is a 2-year working permit that comes at a cost of $465 for USCIS. This does not include legal fees. So for individuals that need to apply for DACA, it could be costly, especially if they have more than one undocumented individual in that family that could potentially apply. So when the program was announced and I knew that there was going to be some sort of way to work legally and to be able to contribute to my community, I got my first job right after I was granted DACA. I started working at a 24-hour fitness, and I was able to purchase my first car. I found out about other options to get financial aid. So I found out about the California DREAM Act. As an AB 540 student, I'm able to get in-state tuition, and the California DREAM Act has helped pay for my tuition. So that definitely helped in my education career. And again, I started this internship that otherwise I wouldn't have been able to use in a future career. So it definitely has provided a lot of benefits. I was able to obtain my driver's license. And this helped in a sense because I was able to drive my mom and not have her be afraid of getting pulled over because I could protect her in that way. And I could provide some sort of stability in that sense, as well as financial stability because I was also contributing to our home. So it definitely has had a lot of benefits. There is a lot of misinformation out there. And part of what Alliance San Diego's, one of our collaboratives, Ready Now San Diego, it's a campaign of the San Diego Immigrant Rights Consortium. what we aim to do is to educate and inform people that these services are still out there. There's still protection for those that qualify under DACA 2012. So we're still out there in the community trying to reach these harder to reach areas, to have them be aware, to raise awareness that they could potentially be eligible for this benefit. In a sense, DACA came about because of Congress' inability to pass a comprehensive immigration reform, and President Obama announced this executive action to try to alleviate some of that. We definitely think it's a step in the right direction, but it has created a category of other individuals. But like I said, so we don't think it's a permanent solution to our broken immigration system. Yeah. It does not provide a pathway to citizenship. It does not provide a pathway to permanent residency. So individuals with DACA are, in a sense, stuck in this other category. They're not able to adjust status through deferred action. Yeah, from a personal perspective, I don't think deferred action or executive actions are the permanent solution. It just keeps people in this other category that essentially doesn't provide any stability for them, right? So I think that the way to make policy change has to be through Congress. Congress has to set out to complete a comprehensive immigration reform. The last thing they've done was in 2013. Vote. That is the most important thing that people can do now, is register to vote and encourage those that don't think that their vote matters to vote. That is the only way that we're going to be able to create change for not only our local communities but at the national level. So we want to encourage those that can vote, because as DACAmented individuals, we cannot vote. A single vote does matter, right, for local elections, for federal elections as well. So we want to make sure that we are encouraging everyone that can vote to go out and vote, because these elections are particularly important. These numbers are people. These were 5 million people that were left in limbo due to the Supreme Court's inaction. So these are families, these are children, these are people that you could go to school with, people that are your neighbors, right? So it's very important to say that it's not just my story, right? There are 5 million others, 11 million other stories. So that's putting a face to that number.
You were there for me when I was in trouble. Understand for me that life was a struggle. You held my soul in some machine like you're supposed to do. And now that ground beneath your hands, nothing I'd hope to choose. Dear mama, did you try to tell me everything was gonna be safe? Dear mama, didn't you tell me everything was gonna be right? And now I got these visions of you waiting up.